happy Elite 8 week. We're so incredibly excited to be at this point, and just really can't believe as I look back on the season and all of the just growth opportunities, learning moments, everything that this team has been through. I have to take a moment to just say how proud I am of our team. Team 51, it's a group that is incredibly special to me, and a group that I think our fans, our community, should just really fall in love with the story and everything that they've come through. To struggle early on in the season, to be hit with injury, sickness, a lot of different things that were outside of our control, then to really dig in, ignite a fire, ignite a passion to overcome those things, not pay attention to all the other outside noise, things that could distract them from the mission, to then really rally, prove that they have the leadership, they have what it takes to go through the hard moments, to come out ahead, to break through in the moments that matter the most, to qualify on to the Elite 8, to be at the national championship. It says so much about this team, the character, the heart, everything that they're about, and I'm just so proud to be their coach, to watch what they've grown into and the leaders that they've become both on the competition floor and off. So with that, we're incredibly excited to go make a statement, to continue to improve, to continue to show what Alabama gymnastics is all about in Fort Worth on Thursday.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. For either of you, how do you think this team was able to stay focused on the mission despite some ups and downs in the season?
That's a great question. You know, we went through a gauntlet of a season. I think every meet in the SEC is brutal. There's some incredible competition in this conference, and it wasn't easy. We took some hard losses by small margins, and credit to our athletes, they never gave up. I think they always had this innate belief that this team was destined to do something special this year. We were backing them 100%, and and after those hard losses, we're able to even step in and challenge them more. And it would have been easy to lay down and be like, man, this is just an off year for us. Mm-hmm. But at no point was that the response from coming out of that locker room every day. And so I was blown away by their resilience, their ability to fight for what they wanted, fight for each other, and fight for this program. And I think you saw that in doing that, their belief to show up and the freedom to compete, their biggest and best gymnastics at the moments that matter most happened. We all saw that here at home at regionals, and there's definitely a little new aura of confidence going into the Elite 8, and we couldn't be more excited to take them to Dallas. So. To Fort Worth, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Coach, we talk about some of those brutal SEC hard losses, small margin. We're seeing some of those teams for a second, even third time. What's the mentality ahead of this meeting?
Well, to use their words, we're on a revenge tour, if you will, and that's their phrase. I love that. I think again that's the chip on their shoulder. They came in to these meets with after some hard losses, and again they never gave up, but they believed that they were the team that was just taking off a little bit slower maybe than other teams for whatever reason, sickness, things out of our control, but really just a young team that had to learn what it looks like to be the best of the best in this unbelievable field of gymnastics programs. So really proud that they stuck with it, and they're excited to go into day one. It looks a lot like the night session of what the SEC championship was. So we're excited to see those teams again, and we feel like we've got a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, underdog mentality that we're absolutely ready for.
Mm-hmm.
For Ashley, obviously last year nationals didn't go the way you wanted. What do you think the gymnasts that were there last year, even the ones that weren't, what did y'all kind of learn about being on that stage in that moment that can apply for this year?
I think we learned to stay in the moment. It is probably our biggest takeaway. Last year we went in with a really fierce mentality of starting strong. And I remember we went and started on bars, and we absolutely started strong. We made a statement. We had, I think, one of our season high scores at that point, and I think the team was really excited, could see this opportunity right in front of them to possibly qualify on to the Final Four. But we were only one event in, and I think that excitement, all of that started kicking in, the adrenaline rush was high, and we moved to the next event, and we just fell out of the moment a little bit. And when you're on a 4-inch beam, you can't afford to fall out of the moment. And so for us, that was an incredible learning lesson. We've really carried that into every single meet this year, which is why we've had this 0-0 mentality approach, and that has served us really well, because every meet this year has provided some great learning lessons, some hard moments, just like that national championship was. But this team learned and was committed to staying in that 0-0 mentality. One event done, moving on to the next. One meet done, moving on to the next, to the point where when we're actually in competition now, we break on what event it is. So during warm-up, it's first event, second event, third event, fourth event, and then when we go around and compete, it's fifth event, sixth event, seventh event, eighth event, just to really put a start and a finish to every single moment that we're in, so that we're all focused, locked in, and making the most of just being where our feet are.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned revenge tour. That was a word that Coach Johnston actually mentioned ahead of that face-up against Cal. And they came out and impressed in that first session. What was it like coming out in that top 2 qualifier to just be able to come from behind fashion, come on top, and make it forward?
For me, and you probably have your own perspective in this, but for me, it was kind of our opportunity for revenge in how our culture operated in hard moments. And I think for the year before and the year before, we had a few different opportunities right in front of us where we really challenged our team to step into those tough pressure cooker environments, take initiative, lead, and be the team that thrived when the stakes were high, when things were maybe even going against us. Like, we wanted to be the team and the culture that was built for those moments, that took an uncomfortable time and made that our best, and have pride in what we've built in that. And so for me, there was just such an incredible amount of pride that went into seeing our team, seeing senior Lily Hudson step in the floor corral on the final night, or on the final event at that regional championship, bring the team together and say, hey, Bama, this is what we're built for. This is what we do. We take a tough moment, we come together, and we thrive in it. And for me, that was just really cool to see that breakthrough and to see our culture truly be the performance enhancer, the difference maker that helped us push the edge and be in those top 2 spots.
I'm gonna add on to that. One of our pillars is growth, and I don't think any other team had as many growth opportunities as we had. And so a lot of people want to highlight some of the tough losses through our regular season, but really what that did was that prepared us for those moments to go out and just swing away and go all in, be in the moment. I would argue the score showed it, but we absolutely had our best performance in the meet that mattered the most. And I think that we are the team that's ready for that again because of the hard, because you don't get better when things were easy, you get better when things are hard, and you're forced to look deep within yourself, within your team of, what do we got to do? Like, we know we're capable of great things. And so every loss we had throughout regular season, we got back in here and we poured into getting better and making sure that when it matters most at the end of the season, we're going to be the most ready for those moments.
Yep. This can be for either of you, but actually you just brought up Lily in that last routine. The last couple of years in gymnastics, it's been like gymnasts have 5 years because of COVID or like whatever, but like for her, she's been a contributor all 4 years, and like she's kind of known like this is going to be the end. Just kind of, what has she brought, her consistency and performance, but also in her leadership to help this team get to this point when they're going to nationals in her last year?
Yeah, it's devastating that we don't have another year, a COVID waiver, extra eligibility. I know Lily and I and the rest of our coaching staff would fight tooth and nail if there was any way to keep her here.
She stayed healthy.
Goodness. Yeah, she truly has been just a dream to have as a leader, as a teammate, as somebody who has been with us from the beginning to build this culture that we are creating. And as we look at what we want to be known for, we want to have a fierce joy approach in all the environments that we walk into. And Lily really reflects that. She is fierce when she competes, but she has such a joy, a heart, and a fulfillment for her journey and appreciation for everything that she's been through. And so she's really been a leader and a standard setter in that space of how we recruit, how we train, what expectations look like. She really helps hold that line of what excellence looks like, and has been a huge reason and a major impact player in helping our team grow and continue to fight for every single opportunity in front of us throughout this season. And really just can't thank her enough for everything she's brought to our program. I'm going to miss her dearly.
This is a team that puts a lot of reliance on freshmen and young athletes, and in terms of the pressure going into the postseason, how have you seen them preparing for that, and also the dynamic between the veteran leaders and the freshmen, and how they've prepared the younger athletes for that?
Yeah, our approach to selecting line, really I think our recipe for greatness is that if you want your team to be the best, it's got to get pushed from the bottom up. If you're sitting comfortable in your lineup spot and no one's coming for you from below, you get comfortable, and comfortable is complacency, and that's not greatness, right? And so our freshmen came in and they had to absolutely work hard for their lineup opportunities, and in doing that, push some of our veterans to have to be better, to not be able to sit complacent and, you know, deep in your lineup spot, because any given moment there was someone that was going to be coming up the pipeline that wants that opportunity. And so in doing that, you've already experienced some of the tension, the fight or flight moments, like when you've got to earn your spot. And so I think our athletes have said that some of those moments are even harder, because once you're in lineup, you've proven you've earned the opportunity. And so in doing that, I think you've got a battle-tested team, some might say, that showed up even in their first postseason. Like, I think Peyton Walker went, you know, career high on floor in that epic moment, essentially a 5-5 count moment. I'm not going to say I wasn't a little tight in that moment, but she knocked it out of the park. And so I think that was just a testament to how we've challenged them, that if this team really wants to be its best, it's not just the anchors like Lily and Gabby Gladio, it's who's going to challenge them and make them make sure they're working for those quarter and half tenths, and they did that, and that's really, really hard to do. And that's been a big piece of our puzzle coming together later on. It took a while to get there, but here we are.
Anything else? All right, thanks guys.
Good. Thank you.